Yes,
we
ma'am.
can. Yes, ma'am. We're just, uh, uh,
We can hear you.
and let it note that Anna is joining. So she's not on yet, but she is joining.
All right, so roll call.
She, we can wait just a second. She did say that she is joining. I'll tell her we're on now.
Lisa, did you have any luck with your camera? Okay. There's Anna. So roll call will roll call will show that Angie Woods and myself are in person, and Anna and Angie and Lisa are joining virtually. So we'll go ahead and get started. Since it's a special called meeting, we cannot change the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as printed?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Angie Woods, second by Anna Goff.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We got it. That was unanimous, I think. Operations and actions. Is there anything on that that needs to be talked about?
Mr. Reppert did ask me to mention that the quote for the vaping intervention curriculum is being paid for out of our grant that we're working through with the county. And that is any student at the middle school or high school level that has a vape at school, they're going to have to be working through this curriculum as part of their the repercussions of having vape at school. So he's reviewed this. Miss Angie has reviewed this, and they think that it's very high quality. So he wanted me to make sure I mention that.
Is there a motion to approve operations and actions?
I second.
Motion by Angie Mink, second by Anna Goff. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Okay. Discussion and action. Number 4A is review approved job description for computer specialist. Dr. Ballinger.
Okay. Brandon and his technology department is wanting to restructure his department. He currently employs 3 specialists that assist him. He has an opening in one of those positions right now. So he is asking to not fill that opening and to use that position to restructure it into a management position that would help support the other specialist. It would be a change in pay for that position of $2.30. But it would not be, he will not be refilling that specialist. So he will still have 3 people in that department working. It'll just, the structure will look a little bit different. Brandon, anything you want to comment?
No, just we have a need for a higher level of help.
He said he just has a need, if you could hear, for someone a higher level of technology skills.
Is there any questions for Brandon?
Yeah, I think that this will be better support for him, and if we structure it this way versus the 3 specialists, someone with just a little bit more skill set.
Leadership and responsibility.
Yes. Yes.
I'll second.
Motion by Anna, second by the Angies. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No. Motion carries. 4B is review and approve 2027 SBDM allocations.
Yes, you have that. That was uploaded. This is strictly based on our enrollment at each school, so it's just a mathematical calculation. None of the ratios have changed from any years past. It's just if there's any changes, it's just based on an increase or decrease in enrollment at each school, but no position changes.
Make the motion.
Motion by Angie Woods. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Angie Mink. Any discussion? All
I
those in,
just had one question, Carrie, before we go forward with that. What is our ratio currently? Full?
Okay, hang on, let me pull it up here. So at the middle school, it's 29-1. And
Wow.
at the high school, it's 31-1. And those are based on state recommendations.
Okay.
okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Any opposed? I guess I should ask. All right. 4C, review and approve fiscal year 2027 salary schedule.
Yes, so the salary schedule as presented, there are just a couple changes on it. One being the computer specialist manager that we just approved for Brandon. The other is we added a site-based funded Mount Vernon Elementary archery coach, and that again will be paid out of site-based funds. And we added site-based funded STLP at each school, and again, that's coming out of school monies. There is a reduction in the position of extended days that was funded by our Pritchard Committee grant that we lost. So that position went from 10 extended days to 10. Those 10 days are paid for with Title I, and then a reduction in days to the JROTC position to mirror what is funded through the Army. Oh, and that's all the only changes. So the way it was structured, there was 20 extended days. 10 of them last year were paid for by Title I. 10 of them were funded through the Pritchard grant. Since we no longer have the Pritchard grant, we're just funding it through Title I, the district portion, and not taking on that added expense of losing a grant, but keeping that same expense with it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Any other discussion about the salary schedule?
And then we can send it back to
Yes. Correct. One position funded by the Army for 11 months.
Okay. Any other questions?
I will have to get with Miss Brandy to find out that exactly and follow back up with you. I don't know that number, but I will do that. Yes.
I'll make
Any
the motion.
other?
Sorry, I'll make the motion.
Excuse me, Miss Hannah.
that position is already filled.
Yes, it is already filled. In fact, it's the same teacher that's been in that position.
That's what I thought, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I move to approve the 27 salary schedule.
so we have a
Second.
motion and a second to approve the salary schedule. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. And then finally, the best for last, 4D is review and approve the fiscal year 2027 tentative budget, Ms. Sweet.
Good evening. We'll highlight some of the areas of our tentative budget for fiscal year 27. Our general fund revenues and expenditures are at $36.5 million. This includes our staff and salary fringe accounts. We're at funding currently at 51% of our budget is to staff and fringe, and that is a good ratio for our district to have. That cost is $18.4 million. Our instructional resources, transportation, facilities, and operations account for $4.4 million. Our contingency at 4.3 and on behalf payments make up the balance of that 36.5 million budget at 9.3 million. Seek for the fiscal year 27, our district forecast is at $17.1 million. Capital outlay, we net that out at 244,300 equals a net of $16.9 million. And if we're looking at our last year's final seek, final to forecast for 27, I know we talked in prior board meetings about what we anticipated that increase to be. Our base was about 79,000 increase, and we talked about that number previously. Overall, there were a few other areas that did increase, and our overall increase was $139,561. The per pupil increase for our current fiscal year is 4,586. Per student in the new fiscal year will be 4,626. That's less than 1% increase, so that really equates to limited funding in fiscal year 27. Just to highlight, we've talked in past years about transportation costs for the district. The legislature is funding transportation at only 81%, and that income for the district is $1.6 million, but our budgeted cost for transportation is almost $2.8 million. So there is a significant deficit there, and if we could see that funding at 100%, would be very impactful for our overall program. On the next slide, we'll just really focus on the ratios of spend for our district. Compliments to the board and to Dr. Ballinger that we continue to be focused in being a very student-centered budget and focusing on instruction. And you can see how those ratios kind of break down by department. Local revenue versus state revenue. Our local revenue for next fiscal year, again, this is an estimate because we do not know what our assessment rates will be for the next year. We estimate our local revenue to be at almost 2.8 million. We will transfer 1.4 million to our building fund. So you can kind of see our ratio of local funds to state funds, with the state funding from SEEK being a very significant portion of our budget. Just to highlight a couple of the funds, Fund 310, we mentioned capital outlay 244,300, building fund almost 5 million, debt service fund, our debt service transfers will be 2.8, and we'll break that down just a bit further on the next slide. Fund 20 has all these great transfers that happen. We'll transfer from our general property taxes, that $1.4 million will go into building fund. State revenues that also come from equalization, 3.5 million to equal almost $5 million in our building fund. We'll transfer out in Fund 400 is our debt service payments. Our debt service payments for the next fiscal year are almost at $2.9 million. Once those transfers occur, we'll have a net of a little over $2 million. This revenue remains in building fund. It can be used for future years. It can be used for new debt payments that may come within the fiscal year 27, or can be used for capital funds request.
So that would include if you had a major, like a heating issue or something?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we had a major system failure in the district, we could come to the board and present, and we will continue to knock on that wood, Mr. Ray, and hope
Your
that
wood down here.
hope that we will not have that occur. But should that happen, a capital funds request could be presented to the board for review and consideration in the use of building funds.
I know this question has been asked before, but how much revenue?
So on our previous slide, I've estimated for next year $2.7 million.
Okay,
And
and when do we get that paid to us?
so we usually start receiving our first payments from the sheriff's office. October, November is when we get that largest, you'll see, you get a discount if you pay it early. So we like to see those come in. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And of that, Miss Anna, we do transfer $1.4 million into the building fund.
Okay, thank you. Just making sure I understood that.
Yes, certainly. Our food service revenues and expenditures are budgeted at $3.1 million. We continue to have an excellent food service program, and we appreciate all the staff and their hard work. Just to cap out our contingency fund, and I went ahead and added this. I just wanted to highlight the calculation for contingency. Contingency is your total budget less your on behalf. So we subtract out the payments that we're required to record in our budget. So really kind of on behalf payments kind of inflate our budget a little bit. And those are all the payments that are made from the state on behalf of the district. And that's health insurance, life insurance, those types of things. So that contingency nets out to be $27.2 million. Our total contingency, and this includes what we budget as a non-restricted contingency, and then a restricted contingency, and that's our bonds, equals about a little over 16% contingency. We're required to maintain a 2% contingency of about $545,000. I know that's something that you all like to review each year, so I just wanted to add that. Do you have any questions? Yes, if you include what the district holds in bonds. Yeah, in CDs. I'm sorry, CDs. Yes. So, in order for that full contingency to be actual liquid cash, that we would have to, transfer that into our account. But we do hold those in CDs. Usually late August, we will receive from the state our certified rates. And then we'll, be reviewing those as we look at tax rates for the next year.
And Jenny, do you care, as you're commenting on that, to comment when we will get an updates on SEEK and how that would impact SEEK? Because I think, Angie, that's what we need to focus on is when does it impact our SEEK projection?
So
Yes, and I would like to, from our,
sure. Sure. Okay. So currently we have a SEEK forecast, and the difference between SEEK forecast and tentative is that assessment that you're referencing. So once the state school official certifies the assessment rates for Rockcastle County, that assessment rate will be added to our SEEK forecast. And, depending on whether that assessment goes up or down, it will have an impact on our total overall SEEK. And once we have those reports, we can share that information with you. Okay. So all that to say, our entire tentative budget for the fiscal year is a little over $49.2 million. And we've provided that in the reports to you. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out. But we will be talking about budget again very soon with our working budgets presented in September. And at that time, Ms. Angie, we would anticipate having some additional SEEK tentative and, some more information about those assessment rates.
I just want to say,
We swear.
you all do a fabulous job, and I appreciate it because I was in travel.
Brandon, before we go on, would you care to go back to the slide that shows the graph of how that is broken down? Yep, right there, thank you. I just want to say that this is a slide that I'm very proud of, and I appreciate the work that everybody does to make our focus be on student instruction as it should be. But I think that you can very easily look at this graph and see that where your finances are focused is what you value the most. And I think it's clear to say that our vision of developing rocket leaders is clearly shown in our budget. We do wish that we were able to provide a raise to our staff this year. Over the last several years, we've been able to give a raise each year over the last five years. We simply cannot do that this year just due to the increase that we received in SEEK. If you look at that, and Miss Jenny spoke of that, it was $139,000. That increase did not cover the expenditures for just the step raises within our budget. So just our teachers moving from a bachelor's degree to a master's or a master's to a rank, that $139,000 did not cover that even. So, if you take into account inflation, our increase in insurance costs, our increase in transportation costs, we just simply didn't have the increase in the budget through SEEK. The legislature, we just did not have that allocated to us to be able to provide a raise. We're hopeful that that will look different next year. So I just wanted to state that publicly and express my regrets that we could not do that this year.
And I would add two things. Thing one, that plant operations and maintenance could be an awful lot higher had we not taken the steps. Say had you all not taken the steps with the utilities to reduce those costs. And then the second thing is to anybody who's watching, attendance matters for academic achievement, but attendance also matters for funding. And if our attendance was 95% instead of 93%, we would be having a totally different discussion on budget, and that has a huge impact on SEEK. And so parents, teachers, everybody getting kids to school every day really matters, and it makes a huge impact on this discussion every year.
Absolutely. The difference in that 2% from 93% to 95 is financially extremely significant.
So we're shooting for 95 next year. Tell Mr.
95,
Rapp.
I'll tell him. Got to make it happen.
Any other questions or discussion about the budget?
No, thank you again. Denise, you need to-
Motion by, motion by Angie, second by Lisa. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right, motion carries. That's all of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by
Motion
Angie
made.
Woods, second by Anna Gall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned.